Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through complex research so you don't have to. Today, our mission, hacking the trolley problem. It's that classic ethical puzzle, tortured philosophers for ages. Now it's bothering AI engineers. So the basic setup, most people know it. Runaway trolley, 5 people on the main track. You can pull a lever, divert it, but there's one person on the side track. Most say, okay, pull the lever. Regrettable, but
yeah.
Then, boom, the footbridge version. Same trolley, same 5 people.
Yeah.
But now you're on a bridge overlooking the track. And next to you, a large man. Only way to stop the trolley, push him off.
Right. And the math, as you said, it's identical. 1 life to save 5. Simple calculation. But the reactions, completely flipped. Something like 90% say yes to the lever, the switch case. But that same 90%, a hard no on pushing the man, huge disapproval. So that's the puzzle we're diving into. Why this massive disconnect? Why does our moral intuition just short circuit when personal force gets involved?
Okay, let's unpack that. Where did this whole thing even start? It goes back to 1967, right?
Yeah.
Philippa Foot's paper.
Exactly. She wasn't initially trying to create this specific dilemma, not in the way it's used now. She was testing a much older idea. The Doctrine of Double Effect. The DDE.
The DDE. Okay, what's the core idea there?
Well, it basically draws a line between harm you intend and harm you just foresee. So DDE says it's sometimes okay to cause harm if it's just a foreseen side effect of a good action. Like in the switch case, the death of the one person is, well, foreseen, but it's not the means you're using to save the others. You're just diverting the trolley. But pushing the man, that's different. You are intentionally using his body as the means to stop the trolley. DDE says that's prohibited.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. But if DDE explained it, why did Judith Jarvis Thomson need to introduce the footbridge version later? That variation really threw a wrench in things, didn't it?
It did, because it highlighted that maybe it wasn't just intention versus foresight. Thomson suggested maybe it's about how personal the action feels. Pushing someone feels very different from flipping a switch remotely.
And this sets up that big clash in ethics, right? Mm-hmm. Utilitarianism versus deontology.
Precisely. Utilitarianism says, look at the consequences. Save the 5. The outcome is what matters most. Deontology says, hold on, there are rules, duties. Like, don't use people as a mere means to an end. The action itself matters, regardless of outcome.
So philosophy kind of hits a wall here, or at least a major fork in the road. Where do we go?
We go into the brain. Psychology and neuroscience offer a different angle through what's called dual process theory. The idea is our mind has 2 main ways of working. System 1 and System 2.
System 1, that's the fast one, the gut reaction.
Exactly. Fast, automatic, emotional, ancient. It's our moral intuition, our autopilot.
And System 2.
That's the slow one. Deliberate, conscious, effortful calculation. The rational part. More recent, evolutionarily speaking.
Okay, so how does this map onto the trolley problem, the footbridge case?
Yeah.
That must trigger System 1, right? That visceral feeling about pushing someone.
That's the hypothesis. It's a direct personal violation, activates that ancient aversion to hands-on violence. System 1 screams wrong, the deontological answer.
Whereas the switch case is more impersonal. It's remote.
Right, so it doesn't trigger that same emotional alarm as strongly. This gives System 2 space to kick in, do the cold calculation. 1 life versus 5. The utilitarian math wins.
And there's actual brain imaging to back this up.
There is. fMRI studies show exactly that pattern. Footbridge scenarios light up emotional centers like the amygdala. But the switch scenarios, they activate areas linked to cognitive control and reasoning like the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the DLPFC.
Wow. So our gut moral rules might just be evolved emotional shortcuts. Yeah. Not absolute truths.
That's a major implication, yeah. They're heuristics, useful rules of thumb that generally keep social groups functioning, but maybe not perfect for every situation.
Which brings us to today. This isn't just a thought experiment anymore, is it? It's a real engineering problem for self-driving cars. Autonomous vehicles.
Absolutely. Programmers have to literally code ethical decisions into the software. Who does the car swerve to avoid? Who does it potentially hit?
And people have thought about this systematically.
Oh, yes. MIT ran the Moral Machine Project. Huge online experiment, 40 million decisions collected from people worldwide. They found some common ground, like most cultures prefer to spare more lives and spare the young, basic utilitarian leanings, but also really interesting cultural differences. Like in East Asian countries, there was less of a preference for saving the young over the old compared to Western countries. Ethics aren't universal.
And it's not just AVs. We saw this kind of grim calculation play out during the COVID pandemic, didn't we? With medical triage, allocating scarce ventilators.
Tragically, yes. Doctors had to make impossible choices, often using frameworks aimed at maximizing life years saved. It was a real-world, high-stakes application of utilitarian principles forced by scarcity.
So, wrapping this up, what's the final takeaway? What's the hack?
I think the hack is realizing the trolley problem isn't designed to give us the answer. It doesn't prove utilitarianism or deontology is right. Its real value is as a diagnostic tool. It reveals the tensions in our own moral thinking, the interplay between emotion and reason, the influence of context and culture. Our morality isn't one simple system. It's a messy, context-dependent hybrid.
Okay, so if it's a diagnostic tool,
Uh-huh.
it leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? If our fast emotional system and our slow rational system give us conflicting answers, especially on these big impersonal modern problems, which system should you trust more when facing the really complex ethical challenges of the 21st century? Something to think about.